Okay folks, we're back for another project. I want to thank you for joining me again today. What we're going to do today is we're going to do another cone project with the same, it's 3.5 inches by 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches by 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch at the top. So that will give you the dimensions. Now I just cut it, I do it on a bandsaw and I just cut it. You know, mine are always a little bit different from each other. I was doing another Santa one here, but anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to do a little shepherd. Now I have no idea how this is going to turn out. I don't know if this shape is going to work, but we're just going to experiment. We're going to give it a try. Alright, so maybe you want to look at the last video before you decide to follow this, because I have no idea how it's going to work out. So it's a mystery to me as much as it is to you. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to round off the top. Make sure you have your carving glove on. Now you're seeing some ink on my hands. I was working in my other business, my refilling business, and had a little bit of a mishap. Didn't have my gloves on like I should have for that either. So here we go. We're just going to round this up. Now I put a little line about, let's see how far down. I know a lot of people like to have some measurements on how things are done. It's about maybe 1/2 inch down, maybe 5/8 of the way down. It's just a reference point. I just did it like the cat, you know, did it down and around. I thought I'll do a little shepherd before Christmas. I did some research on the shepherds, and it's an interesting topic because they were the ones they were the very ones that were greeted by the angel about the birth. And it always amazes me that God will use people that aren't real famous. He'll just use ordinary people for things. Alright, here we go. Alright, so that's, and I'm going to trim this up. I'm going to go down a little further on the back. We can, now where I did that, what we're just going to do is just do a little bit like so. He's not going to have any eyes. I'm going to do like a, not a hobo look, but with like an Oseam's anyway. I always call it the hobo look with a hat or, okay, alright. So what we're going to do here, we're going to just put it in and we're going to notch that out. We're going to go down here a little ways and we're going to notch another section out. And we're going to go down here because I think it drapes down and around. And let's see if we can get this a little bit more even right there. Alright. So from the back it looks even, and then we'll go up like so. Okay, good. So we're going to cut, undercut, cut the back, undercut, alright, and then I'm going to follow this out. We're just going to, I'm using a stationary knife today. Some of you have asked some questions about knives and such, and I wouldn't recommend anything but a stationary knife for a beginner, but some of you still want to buy the a pocket knife, and there's nothing wrong with a pocket knife. I think beginners need to learn control over your knife before you venture out with a pocket knife. And if you're like me, you know, at the farm, you grew up with a pocket knife in your pocket because you're always using it to cut something or use it while you were working. Especially out in the country anyway, we always had some use for it. I used it a lot to cut open feed bags and things like that. Alright. I'm going to trim this down just a bit because alright. Now we're going to go a little further, a little deeper here. I really like these cone things. They're a little simpler. There's not as much to cut away usually with doing these. And I'm in the process, like I said before, I looked into having a building, or not a building, but a place where you can meet for my classes. I have a couple places maybe lined out. So once I get my classes things figured out, I'll be back to tell you where and when the classes will be. Some of you asked if I was going to have classes again. Yes. Yep, I will. Since the mall closed, it's been a little difficult to find something that would be a decent price and just a place where they would want wood carvers to be in. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just outline. Well, they have a beard usually, right? The shepherds, so we're going to put a little bit of a beard down, so we're going to go down a little lower. Alright. And I'm going to have some feet showing underneath. Shepherds were, from what I understand, they were a paid position because they were tending. They happened to be usually single men without families, and they would be with the sheep all the time, so we're going to cut underneath here first and chop this up. It's amazing what you can research on Google or on the internet, any topic. Any topic. I know that looks like a helmet right now, but there's a couple things I'm going to do with it. I'm going just from memory, from what I think, what I saw on the net. So no in particular pictures, just I'm going to put a nose right there. And we're going to make it nice and round. This is like a caricature. I see we're running out of time, and I'll be right back, and we'll keep going here. Alright?